Ethiopia is often remembered through the lens of past hardships, but that image tells only a fraction of its story. This vast country holds an extraordinary wealth of landscapes, cultures, and history waiting to be discovered. From the rugged northern highlands to remote villages and sacred sites, Ethiopia reveals a world that has remained deeply rooted in tradition. One of the oldest nations on earth, this land has preserved its identity through centuries of isolation and resilience. High in the mountains lies Addis Ababa, sitting at an altitude of over 2,400 meters. It is not only Africa's highest capital, but also one of the highest in the world, founded in the late 19th century. Life here moves at a unique rhythm. Shared taxis and buses dominate the streets, connecting neighborhoods and surrounding regions. Ethiopia stands apart as one of the few African nations that maintained its independence during the colonial era. Markets are the beating heart of the city. In places like the Mercado, traders sell everything from fresh produce to spices. Spices play a central role in Ethiopian cuisine, bringing bold flavors to every meal. One staple is inset, sometimes called the false banana. Its trunk is processed into a dough that can be turned into bread. Agriculture remains the backbone of the economy, while Ethiopia is globally recognized as the birthplace of Arabica coffee. Religion is deeply woven into Ethiopian life. The St. George's Cathedral stands as a symbol of national pride. Haile Selassie was crowned here, a figure revered far beyond Ethiopia, especially within Rastafarian culture. Orthodox Christianity has shaped the country for centuries, with traditions that remain unchanged over time. Coffee is more than a drink here, it is a ritual. At Tomoka Coffee, beans are roasted using traditional methods. Coffee ceremonies bring people together, symbolizing hospitality and connection. Traveling north, the landscape opens into the Amhara region, where Lake Tana stretches across the horizon. This lake is the source of the Blue Nile and a lifeline for millions. Surrounding communities depend on farming. Villages like Salti reflect a slower pace of life. Homes built from wood and earth blend into the environment. Families grow crops such as Teff, a tiny grain used to make injera, Ethiopia's iconic flatbread. Fishing on Lake Tana still relies on traditional papyrus boats, unchanged for generations. On forested peninsulas, ancient monasteries stand hidden, preserving spiritual heritage through vibrant murals. A short distance from the lake, the Blue Nile reveals its strength at the Blue Nile Falls. In the village of Ara Amba, a community emphasizes equality, education, and mutual support. Further north lies Gondar, once a royal capital filled with castles that reflect a blend of cultures. Beyond it, Lalibela reveals one of humanity's greatest architectural achievements, churches carved entirely from rock. In Axum, history stretches back thousands of years. Massive stone obelisks rise from the ground. Descending into the Danakil Depression feels like entering another planet, one of the hottest places on Earth. Caravans of camels transport salt blocks across harsh terrain, a tradition slowly disappearing with modernization. In the highlands of Tigray, ancient churches cling to cliffs, symbolizing a connection between earth and heaven. Journey into the highlands, the changing landscape. As the journey continues deeper into Ethiopia's northern highlands, the air grows thinner, the landscapes more dramatic, and life more closely tied to the rhythms of nature. Rolling hills stretch endlessly across the horizon, broken only by steep escarpments and deep valleys. Carved over millions of years, here, altitude shapes everything, from the crops that grow to the way people live. In these elevated regions, communities depend almost entirely on agriculture. Fields of teff, barley, and wheat blanket the land, their patterns shifting with the seasons. Despite the beauty, life here is not easy. Rainfall can be unpredictable, and when it fails, the consequences are immediate. Yet, resilience defines the people of these highlands, a resilience built over generations. In small villages, daily life begins at sunrise. Families wake early to tend to livestock, prepare food, and walk long distances to fetch water. Children often help with chores before heading to school, sometimes traveling miles on foot. Meals are simple but deeply rooted in tradition. Injera, a soft, sour flatbread, remains at the center of every table, accompanied by lentils, vegetables, or meat when available. Food is shared from a single plate, reinforcing a strong sense of community and togetherness. In Ethiopia, music is more than entertainment, it is storytelling. In villages near Gondar, traditional musicians continue a legacy passed down through generations. Using instruments like the masenko, a single-stringed fiddle, singers narrate stories of love, history, and daily struggles. Many performances are improvised, with lyrics shaped by the moment and the audience. Music accompanies every stage of life, from celebrations and weddings to moments of reflection. It is a living archive of culture, preserving memories that are rarely written down. The city of Gondar stands as a reminder of Ethiopia's imperial past. Once a royal capital, it is home to a remarkable complex of castles. These structures reflect centuries of influence, a blend of Ethiopian tradition and foreign inspiration, shaped by trade routes. Even today, Gondar remains a cultural hub where festivals, markets, and daily life continue under the shadow of its historic walls. Further into the mountains lies one of Ethiopia's most extraordinary sites, Lalibela. Here, entire churches have been carved directly into the rock, hidden below ground level and connected by narrow tunnels. These structures were created centuries ago, yet they remain active places of worship. Pilgrims travel from across the country, often on foot, to reach this sacred destination. Inside, the atmosphere is quiet and deeply spiritual. Priests chant in ancient languages, their voices echoing through stone walls that have stood for generations. Living at high altitude brings unique challenges. Temperatures can change rapidly, with warm days followed by cold nights. Oxygen levels are lower, making physical labor more demanding. Yet, the people who call these mountains home have adapted. Traveling northward, the terrain becomes even more rugged. The road winds through dramatic canyons and rocky plateaus, leading to Axum. Axum was once the center of a powerful empire that traded with Rome and India. Its most visible symbols are towering stone obelisks. Axum is not only a historical site, it is a place of deep spiritual significance. Many believe it houses the Ark of the Covenant. While its existence remains a matter of faith, the belief itself draws pilgrims. Religious ceremonies here are rich in symbolism. Across northern Ethiopia, agriculture remains a way of life. Harvesting teff requires precision. The grains are so small and light. Farmers rely on traditional methods, using tools and techniques unchanged for centuries. These practices continue to sustain millions. In the region of Tigray, the landscape becomes even more striking. Towering rock formations rise from the earth, creating natural fortresses. Hidden within these cliffs are ancient churches, accessible only by steep climbs. The reward is panoramic views that stretch for miles. From the cool highlands, the journey takes a dramatic turn. Descending thousands of meters, the environment shifts to arid desert. The destination is the Danakil Depression, one of the most extreme environments on Earth. Temperatures soar, and the ground seems alive. In this harsh landscape, life persists. Workers extract salt from the earth, cutting it into blocks that are loaded onto camels. These caravans travel long distances, continuing a trade that has existed for centuries. This ancient system remains an essential part of local life. What makes Ethiopia truly unique is its diversity. Within a single journey, one can experience cool mountains and the hottest places on Earth. Each region tells a different story, yet all are connected by a shared history and identity. In the cool light before sunrise, the highlands of Ethiopia breathe slowly, mist rising from terraced fields. The distant bleat of goats, and the first call to prayer drifting across the valleys. Here, life moves to the rhythm of nature. And yet, beneath these ancient soils, new stories are unfolding, stories of survival, of change, and of hope. For many villages, water is life, and getting it is hard work. When the rains don't come, we walk farther. Our children learn to carry water with us. Women like Alemnesh walk up to 10 kilometers daily, not for school, but for water. Water decides when we plant. Water decides when we eat. Water decides when we rest. Here in the highlands, farmers have learned to listen to the land. Teff is like a child, it needs careful watch. Older farmers divide their fields into microplots, planting varieties of grains to survive unpredictable rains. We combine indigenous knowledge with new techniques, water harvesting pits, stone buns, and drought-tolerant seeds. In every town, the marketplace is the heartbeat of the region, loud, chaotic, and alive. Trade here is not just for money, it is how we build friendships with others from far places. Despite isolation, Ethiopia's trade cultures remain deeply connected, not by highways, but by human ties. Twice a year, Ethiopia's devotion bursts into color, song, and dance. Priests in ornate robes, believers in white gowns. Timkit is not just a festival, it is a renewal of hope. The cold water becomes a symbol of spiritual cleansing. A ritual thousands have practiced for centuries. Hidden in cliffside monasteries are books older than many nations, handwritten texts that preserve faith, history, and medicine. These books survived wars, droughts, and time. They are the voice of our ancestors. Some of these books have never been photographed, their words carried only in memory. Education here is a bridge between tradition and tomorrow. I want to be an engineer so I can build roads. Young minds shouldn't have to choose between their heritage and their dreams. Far from the villages, pockets of ancient forests still stand, and with them, the people who protect them. We plant not just to grow trees but to sustain life. Their battle is against erosion and climate change. New roads are stretching across once isolated terrain, promise and tension intertwined. Soon our goods will go farther, faster. But will our traditions follow? Change comes not just in concrete. As the day closes, families gather around fires, sharing stories, songs, and the warmth of community. We are made of land, water, and sky. We are the stories that keep living. In Ethiopia's highlands, life is not measured in miles, but in memories, connections, and the unbroken song of humanity. From the jagged peaks of the Simien Mountains to the shimmering heat of the Danakil Depression, Ethiopia is a land of extremes. Extremes that challenge every step, every breath, and every heartbeat. Yet, it is here that life thrives, fierce, beautiful, and unbroken. In these highlands, people are more than residents, they are guardians of their land. Every terrace, every stone wall tells a story of endurance. Our children learn to care for the land as soon as they can walk. It is our life, our promise to the future. Here, survival is not just physical, it is a philosophy. To live is to adapt, to respect, and to endure. Far from the fertile highlands, the Afar people traverse one of the harshest environments on earth, the Danakil Desert. This land gives little, but it gives life. We survive together, step by step, block by block. For centuries, these caravans have crossed this desert, following the rhythm of the land and the trade of salt, a legacy unchanged by time. In the heart of the mountains, spirituality is carved in stone. Lalibela's churches are more than monuments, they are living prayers. These stones hold our faith. They hold our stories. They remind us who we are. Each carved corridor, each hidden chapel is a testament to devotion, patience, and human ingenuity. Axum rises from the rugged landscape, a city where history still speaks. Its towering obelisks, carved from single blocks of granite, whisper of empires that traded with Rome, India, and beyond. Axum is not just a city, it is memory made stone. We walk among our ancestors every day. Here, the past is never distant. It is alive, shaping identity, faith, and the rhythm of daily life. Ethiopian music is more than sound, it is identity. Every beat, every note carries stories of love, struggle, and resilience. Through music, we remember, we teach, we celebrate life, even when it is hard. Music connects the highlands and deserts, the villages and cities, the past and future. It is the heartbeat of Ethiopia. In Tigray, cliffs rise like fortresses. Hidden among them are churches carved into the rock, places where faith and courage meet. Faith is our wings. It lifts us where our bodies cannot go. Here, every step is a test of endurance. Every view a reward of all. The future of Ethiopia is carried on small shoulders. Children learn, play, and dream, even in the most remote corners. One day, I will travel far, but I will never forget my home. In every smile, every step, hope is sown, a promise that the story of this land will continue. From volcanic craters to tranquil lakes, Ethiopia is a land of contrasts. Its beauty is breathtaking, its dangers real. Yet, humans endure, adapt, and flourish in harmony with the raw, untamed land around them. Ethiopia is measured in resilience, in traditions preserved, and in hearts that beat to the rhythm of the earth. From the highlands to the deserts, from ancient cities to remote villages, one truth endures. Life here is sacred, complex, and profoundly human. If these stories moved you, let the world know. Subscribe, share, and like to keep the journey alive. Ethiopia continues to live, to endure, and to tell its story, and now, you are a part of it too.